Have you ever played a game that made you actually upload a video on your YouTube channel? Anyway, hi, I'm Pogo, a teenager who has too much free time on his hands, and this is my first video. Well, technically my second, but I don't really count the other one, nor can I bother to delete it. So if you have browsed Touhou Fangames on Steam as of late, you may have noticed a certain game called E.E.R.I.E. Now, just what is E.E.R.I.E? Well, it's a rather peculiar game. It was done by a small Chinese team called E.E.R.I.E. Now, I know how you may feel about that, but don't worry, they are in the clear for now. The game itself is a TPS. While a Touhou TPS is no new thing, as Dan and Immersive 3D has done it first. But whilst that game puts emphasis on movement and projectile combat, E.E.R.I.E is closer to a traditional shooter, having running movement, cover mechanics, various grenades and hit-scan weapons. Speaking of which, the game has a good amount of different customizable guns, varying from pistols, SMGs, ARs, sniper rifles, shotguns, and even grenade launchers. Oh, and when I say customizable, I do mean customizable. There is quite a lot of parts to modify the weapon with. You've got different mags, sights, stocks, miscellaneous, etc. ARs especially take pride in the customization options, having the most out of every gun. Now, that's cool and all, but what about actually using them for what they're made for? Shooting. Well, it feels good actually. There's nothing to worry about aiming, the bullets go where they're supposed to, and the sound design is pretty neat. You can switch between DPS and FPS mode with the scroll wheel. While in DPS mode, you can change your shoulder with the V key, which is useful for peeking around corners without exposing yourself to the enemy's sightlines like a moron. In this game, you can collect gear, which is stored in your backpack. There are 5 types of gear: guns, ammo, consumables, throwables, and mods. The inventory system is rather simple. Everything takes up just 1 space, except for large guns that take 2. This is where you can take your consumables, equip guns, apply mods. Keep in mind that you browse your backpack in real time. Also, moving your mouse still moves the camera, so it can get a bit annoying sometimes. The way you gain gear in this game is pretty dodgy. When you kill enemies or treasure items, you gain points which you can then use to open crates. There are 5 types of boxes for each type of gear. All of them cost 100 points, except for guns that cost 400. What you get is random, but ammo and mod pool was heavily skewed towards all you have equipped. The AI in this game is rather simple. They patrol around the area they're assigned to a neutral, go and investigate gunshots, and announce on their megaphones when they spot an enemy and start shooting. Don't underestimate them, however, as they can definitely snipe you from a long distance and have a rather fast reaction speed. They are especially dangerous on the highest difficulty, normal, where guns do crazy damage and everything, including you, dies in 1 or 2 shots. Now, you may be thinking, but hold on, how am I supposed to win against the AI if they can just kill me on sight? To which I respond with, just wallbang. You can wallbang with any gun if you aim it at a wall at an angle. One gun, the SVD, even lets you see through walls. It's also worth mentioning that there are bosses in this game. They are literally just normal grunts with a durability of a tank, so they are nothing special. Except for the one that throws a banner into the works in the worst way possible. More about that one later. You can also drive around in cars. They can greatly decrease travel time. They are, however, a bit too fast for the size of the maps. Is that really 50 kilometers per hour? They also don't behave like you think they do. The turn radius is always the same no matter the speed, and they can't run over people either. The art style of the game looks pretty good, and the outfits that the girls received are quite nice. Unfortunately, the game is pretty washed out of colors. Audio-wise, it's nothing spectacular. As stated before, the guns sound rather great. And that's it. Engine sounds are rather generic, and both voices and music were grabbed off of a royalty-free bank. The story in this game is on the rather simple side. The campaigns available are very short, but work well to push you forward. It's 2035, and the Hakure barrier has disappeared a long time ago. Because of that, modern technology has made its way to Genusagi, including weaponry. There's some kind of conflict going on, but I don't remember the details. Also, Kawakama runs a strip club. Wait, that was familiar. So far, there are 3 playable characters: Daiose, Seija, and Ringo. A rather odd roster, so I'm guessing that these are the devs' favorites. All of them control the same, except for Armored Daichan, who's just slower and has low stamina. They are all different in starting gear, enemies, story, and abilities. Due to faction affiliations, Daichan and Ringo aren't attacked by the Tengus and Devils respectively. Only Seija's fighting the world. Daichan has 2 versions, Armored and Stealth. Don't take the Armored version, as it's significantly slower than Stealth and doesn't give you more durability. His special ability is Wall Hacks, which isn't really useful in a game with third-person camera. Her story is very straightforward. You drop into the map and you're tasked with coming to the Tengu's HQ, where you will meet Momiji and some guy named Cooper, as well as your gear. There, you'll learn that Chirino is being held captive in the Red Museum, probably a botched translation of the SDM, and it's up to you to break her out. You can also ask Cooper for a side mission to take down Rumia in the warehouse. You can literally just outrange. You'll be rewarded with a brand new gun. To reach Chirino, you'll have to go to the Red Museum's basement and take down Patchouli, who you can just wallbang. Chirino will be laying unconscious in a little room where it will be revealed that Daichan has a manic obsession with Chirino, and that you're doing this for propaganda reasons. The game ends with a bad ending when they are in, and no, there aren't any other endings. Next up, we got Ringo. She can eat a dango and become immortal. When you arrive at the island, she has to retrieve her gear which crash-landed at the Red Museum. Then you will be tasked with investigating an apartment block, but before you do that, you can go to Armilia for a side mission of destroying drones of the Tengu flying around the 9 airspace. You can also go to the basement to talk to Patchouli and learn that the Moon Rabbits aren't on good terms with the Devils, as the latter has stolen technology from the former. The reward for destroying the drones is a gun. Momiji will try to stop you from entering the apartment block. In it, you will find a server containing some very dangerous stuff, so you have to scrap it. Upon arriving back in the Red Museum, you will find that Ramila has promptly fucked off. Before you end the campaign, you can strike up a conversation with Virumia to learn the 2 things. 1. Virumia and Flandre are the same person, and 2. Remilia has fucked off together with Mei-Ling and Sakya to somewhere in Europe. This time you get a good end, but once again there are no other endings. Our final character is Seija. She can reflect damage. Her campaign is something else. Upon spawning, you'll have to storm the Red Museum for intel about
some financial status.
You will then be blackmailed into getting some intel on a meeting that you'll find in the warehouse. The intel is a bust, however, as everyone on the list is either dead or has left to Genusagi. Come back to where you started and end the mission with a bad end. But this time, we got two endings. You can get a distress signal from Satori, who says that she's been sexually assaulted by the Tengus. Once you save her, she'll tell you that Koichi has been taken by the Tengus. So you'll have to storm the HQ, where you'll find a talking Koichi Fumo. What you did was just a distraction to let Satori sneak into an apartment block. She'll invite you in. Before you enter, stockpile on ammo and try to shoot down the helicopter that's flying around the area. You'll get an achievement for that. When you enter, you'll end down with some kind of pocket dimension. On the top floor, you'll find Satori, who info-dump you into go I woke up like this. Seriously. There is a very powerful group called
The Listeners.
Not only have they managed to completely ban nuclear weapons worldwide and caused both the fall of the US and the USSR, but also killed E.E.R.I.E, who now lives as a digitized being. She'll also tell you that she was cooperating with Patchouli to leave Genusagi, but recently their latter refused to work, so Satori will send you to the basement of the Red Museum to check up on her. But before you leave, go talk to E.E.R.I.E and have her tell you that she's alone. In the basement, you'll be greeted by no one else but Cooper. And good lord, is he a fucking bastard of a boss. Remember Seija's ability? He has it permanently on, which means that you can't just shoot him normally. Instead, you have to sneak up on him and kick the shit out of him while your ability is active. You can try and use throwables, but you'll need a lot of them to take him down. When you finally do, you can go take a ride via the underground railway system for the true ending, where you get arrested in the outside world for carrying guns on yourself. There's also a mini side mission available to everyone where you collect guns left behind by Marisa. While obviously, it didn't explain every detail, giving you only the abridged version, the bottom line is that the campaigns are very short and simple. I wouldn't say that they are great, but at the very least they are serviceable. The devs have announced a new campaign featuring Alice as a new heroine about a month after release. I would be lying if I said I'm not interested in what they're gonna do. However, you might have noticed one thing while watching this video. Besides the characters, this game has nothing to do with Touhou. There isn't even a mention of it in the title, so to a passerby, it might seem like the devs are just ripping off Touhou characters. And I know that to a lot of Touhou fans, that might be quite a turnoff. So, would I recommend this game? Honestly, I'm not sure. On one hand, you can have fun with the gameplay if you are willing to overlook the plots. On the other, it barely even feels like a Touhou game. I let you be the judge. Anyway, that's it for the video. Big shout out to Genusagi for making the thumbnail for the video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. See ya!